This episode of Another Great Day is brought to you by Subwoofers, underwater dogs, and bassiest of all speakers. It's Friday, March 10th, 2023. I'm Aaron, and this is my wonderful bassy co-host, Chris.
Hello.
And we'd like to welcome you back to Another Great Day, the podcast designed to encourage interaction, creativity, and conversation. Hey, Chris. How are you to... Bring?
Do you need to take that?
Bring?
That phone call?
Bring? No, probably just that robot caller again.
Oh,
Bring.
okay. What if it's the president of the United States?
Bring. I don't think he's calling me. Bring.
Don't you think you should see what they have to say?
Okay,
maybe it's
fine,
something
here we go.
important.
Yeah, okay. Hello, this is Aaron.
Mr. Watson, come here. I want you.
Click.
What did it say?
Something about my car warranty expiring, I think. Well, enough from the robocallers. Let's check in with this day in history. On this day in 1876, the first speech is transmitted by telephone. Remember a few days ago, Chris, when we talked about the patent being filed for the telephone? Well, Mr. Bell did not sit around and wait. He got right to work. And yes, 3 days later, the very first speech was made over the phone. And you know what it said? Do you?
Wait. You're saying the very first time words were spoken over a phone.
That's right.
The first words ever transmitted over phone is what we're about to hear.
Yep, that's exactly right. The first words ever spoken on a telephone
Okay.
were, Mr. Watson, come here, I want you. Just like our opening skit. Yes.
So from those words, we now can say all the things and hear all the things and do all the things on the phones.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
exactly. You and I are having this podcast because of an outgrowth of the technology that started from the Morse code. So Alexander Graham Bell was inspired. This is all free information, kids. Alexander Graham Bell was inspired by Samuel Morse, who we've also referenced on this day in history in the past. He created the Morse code, which led to the creation of the telegraph. But the telegraph was limited in how far it could send a signal and the amount of characters that you could produce. And so Alexander Graham Bell's father, his name was Melville Bell. He actually invented the first dictation to speech device for deaf people. I'm sorry. I'm doing all this from memory from my research. And inspired by his own dad at the young age of 27, Mr. Bell created the telephone. So, yeah. How about that for a smart kid? Yeah, the next time your kid's playing with electronics, you need to encourage them because they might be on the cusp of some amazing new technology that revolutionizes the world.
Sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, exactly. Now, unless they're playing Among Us, that's probably not helpful unless you're just trying to train to be a good detective one day.
That's right. Yeah, you're trying to figure out who is the one among us that will be the traitor. Or
there's always one.
Called? Is it traitor?
The sus. The imposter.
Oh. Imposter.
Yes. I reference our friends yelling at the car speakers a lot when they listen. I bet my son is yelling, imposter, imposter.
Traitor at that.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Imposter.
That's whenever Among Us is set in the 1800s Old West. They're like, traitor. It's got a little top hat and a mustache. Congratulations. Like the entertainers playing in the background.
You got your own monocle.
Get out of here, you dirty, rotten crook. You've stolen the last of our cattle, traitor. Okay, anyways, well, let's go ahead and move on. That was all for free, folks. This next segment is called the question of the day. And if you're new to this, we're going to ask a question and encourage you to take a minute to answer the question with those around you. We'll give you a brief pause to answer. And if you need more time, pause the show. Come on back. We'll be right here waiting for you. Today's question is, If you could call anyone and talk to them for a few minutes, who would it be? All righty. Welcome back. We hope you had a great discussion with that. Chris, I have a silly answer. And I know sometimes you have silly answers and I have a serious answer and vice versa. So I'm gonna ask you right here live. Is your answer serious? Because mine is not.
I think it's kind of serious. What you got?
I would call Stan Lee. He has passed away, but he is the inventor. He's a co-creator of so many different great characters from Marvel Comics that I would just like to talk to him about his creative process. How did he come up with these different characters? What does he think about the state of Marvel right now? And just hear from him on some of his processes. I think people like Stan Lee, Bill Watterson, who writes Calvin and Hobbes, those guys are so creative in the amount of things that they were able to invent, and especially characters that involve dialogue. I think that's really interesting as well to see the creative process there. So that's my answer. What about you?
I make a couple of phone calls a day normally with my wife, often on her way home from teaching the school land. I will talk to her. I'll call or she'll call me, but I don't always call my mom. I probably do once a month. And I think if I hadn't had called today, I could call my mom and talk to her just for a couple of minutes about,
why don't you,
about nothing. I'm going to call her right now.
What's your mom's name?
Let me call her right now on the podcast.
Yeah, let's just give her a quick shout. No, don't do it. Don't do it. No. But you know what, Mom? It's never a bad idea to call your mom. And I have an aunt actually who says if you feel like somebody pops into your head, I think that's just the Holy Spirit telling you to reach out to that person. Either pray for them, call them, or send them a little text. And I don't know what to think about that, but it sure is a sweet sentiment. So
yeah. So I might call my mom in a bit.
All right. Well, hello from Another Great Day podcast, Mrs. Taylor. Hope you're having a great day. Another great day, that is.
Mrs. Tater Tots. She was my sixth grade teacher.
Oh, shout out to Mrs. Tater Tot. And hello to you too, Mom, on my side here. All right. Well, good talk today, Chris. Let's take a quick break and check in with our dad joke correspondent on location. Put your hand on your headphone like you're sending the signal out to the field, and let's check in with Wes. Take it away, Wes.
Breaking urgent news, the water has been contaminated. There's been a boil notice, which means you must boil your water prior to drinking. There's a lot of concerned citizens out there. They keep asking the same question. What happens when you boil water? The answer is, it'll be missed. Have another great day.
All right, thanks, Wes, and we hope that water problem is solved quickly.
I H2-HOPE so too.
We'll be right back. Oh, welcome back to Another Great Day. I'm Aaron, that's Chris, and we are so glad you're here. Now, this part of our show is called The Word of Wisdom. This is where we'll take a minute to go through a proverb or wise saying and then give you our take. So here we go.
Today's Word of Wisdom comes to us from Proverbs chapter 20, verse 9. Who can say, I have cleansed my heart, I am pure and free from sin? Can anybody say that they are pure and free from sin, from making bad choices?
Nope.
And being away from God?
No, they cannot. And this one is going to be short and sweet. You read that, and you just know exactly what he's trying to say. There are no perfect people. As my mama used to say, Aaron, does your pencil not have an eraser? And that has stuck with me. Meaning, are you telling me you never make a mark that needs to be erased? You never make any mistakes either? Grandmas just have a really good way of putting things in perspective sometimes. Parents, maybe this is a good time for you to talk a little bit about some ways that your heart's been cleansed through the power of the Lord. Maybe take a few minutes and talk about that with your kids. We'd encourage you to do that. I think it'll be real fruitful. Well, DJ Goodbeard Strongheart, hit the music and let's call it a day. I I'd like to give a big thank you to my man Chris right here for all the audio production and excellent co-hosting he does. And last but not least, I'd like to thank all of you for listening and sharing this show with your friends, neighbors, and, you know, anybody that you see who's working on your plumbing or putting a satellite dish on your house. Our mission here is to encourage interaction, creativity, and conversation.
So even though today's show may have come to an end, that does not mean your discussions have to come to an end.
Well, we hope you make this weekend and this day another great day. We'll see you next week. Swim, swim, swim. I'm holding my nose. Actually, I got a snorkel and I'm swimming and I'm looking at the starfish and coral reefs. And all of a sudden I hear. And I look over. The system is down. I look over and I see like a golden retriever with a snorkel and goggles on. And he's got this like strap over his shoulder area, over his waist rather, with two gigantic waterproof subwoofers. And I look at him and he just looks back at me and gives me a nod.
The end.